Hi, welcome to Coffee with Kim. My name is Kim Bassett and I am your host. Before we get started with our great guest and show today, I have an ask, and that is for you to subscribe. The reason I ask you to subscribe is it allows more people to have visibility to our great guests and their messages. So if you could just hit that little button below, I'd really appreciate it. Now let's get started with our show. Welcome to Coffee with Kim. It is so great to be with you again. It's been a while, and I just want to let you know that today is going to be a very special day. We're recording this in December of 2023. There's been a lot that has happened, and I'm bringing a guest on that is going to, which I know will make a difference in your life. Today on Coffee with Kim, coming from Las Vegas, Nevada, is Linda Wolfe. Linda is a wife, mother, licensed marriage and family therapist, drug and alcohol counselor, among other certifications. Her holistic approach to healing includes several modalities and spiritual practices. Her love of essential oils as a tool for healing has led her to sharing them with others in her newest venture. Linda believes that in order for a person to obtain a healthy state of being, he or she must work on grounding themselves within their life and discover self-actualization. Linda, welcome to Coffee with Kim. Yay! Linda, welcome so much. Everyone, I want you to meet Linda Wolfe. She is someone who's very special to me and to our family. This topic today, Linda, of bridging the psychology and the spirituality, I could not have thought of anyone better than you to do this.
Thank you.
Yeah. How did it feel seeing your life in video?
Oh man, it's so heart touching to see that. And I just want to just cry because, it has been a journey and it has been a life's work for me. And it is my passion. I started off, I've been practicing therapy for about 14 years now. And I've been doing energy modalities for the past 8, and I think like most people, our audience today, they have the skills, they have the I'm different, I don't see things different, I hear things, I feel things, and the way the world is set up today, it's just become so overwhelming for them. So I've made it my mission to help people like discover like, okay, what is this, right? What is underneath all of this? And, I call it your superpower. How do you tap into your superpower? Because like you and I, and again, like I said, a lot of people in this audience is they walk into a room and they feel what has happened. So I like to teach people how to guard themselves from that and how to, their anxiety. A lot of times people come in with high anxiety and through discovering and looking at things, it's not even theirs.
Yeah.
We have just been the sponge that takes on all this anxiety,
Yeah.
or depression, or, there's so many levels and so many things to it.
Yeah. No, it is. And I'm going to back us up just a little bit because I want um, I want people to know a little bit about your story because we come,
Okay.
and I'm going to just leave this to, we do this on Coffee with Kim. I'm going to kind of take me out of it. I want them to hear a little bit about your story because there is a story that comes to where we are
Mm-hmm.
now. And so sometimes
Absolutely.
that'll kind of help people kind of know where you came from to where you are now.
Okay.
Let's just, oops, right there. There we go.
There we go. Okay. So, through my journey, like many people, I have decided to, I've grown and became who I am because of certain life challenges. I won't go too much into that, but my whole life I have been able to see people for who they truly are, right? So when I meet a person, I see their energy field. And I've done this my whole life, and I really didn't realize that everybody doesn't see people that way. And what happens is I will see a person, and then when I see their picture, they're they look like two different people. And it's because when I see you in person or I see you on video, I see the true essence of you. And that's why when I started with this journey, of healing and helping people, I was able to see, is this person truly making changes, or are they truly transforming, or are they just in here? And when I started doing therapy, I just felt like there was something missing. There needed to be so much more with the therapy aspect. And as an energy healer and a therapist, I believe that we're energy beings. And with energy doesn't dissipate, it doesn't go away, it just transforms. And so since I believe that, what I found is that people sometimes just living in the world, the different energies, they can cause you to be off, so I just really tapped into that.
Yeah, no,
Hmm.
I think this is a time in our, like you said, in our existence where even scientifically, right, there's the
Yeah.
psychology and then there's the
Yeah.
spirituality and the medical part of things. They're even saying,
Hmm.
yes, we are made of energy. So
Yes.
I think there's becoming that blend of
Hmm.
who the essence of who we are, the physical and the spiritual. And I think that's the one thing that having someone like you, um, being able to have both sides, like,
Yeah.
you can have one side where you said it's all medical, right? All the
Hmm.
psychological, but there's people that want just the spiritual, but I think you have found, and what you've just said is the blending of the two is what
Hmm.
makes us whole.
Yeah, because I feel, and I think that's where we're broken in society. People say, "Look, well, we do the mind and we do the body and, we do the spiritual, but we're one being, right?" And separating it is really hard. And especially, I don't know about the rest of the country, but I know here in Nevada, a lot of times us professionals don't talk, and don't tell each other what is going on. And, and it's this person, and I'm not against medication, I feel like sometimes it works, but let's exhaust everything first to see if we can get this. Because if you live long enough with high anxiety, that's going to change your molecular makeup,
It does, and they've
Mm-hmm.
proven that
Mm-hmm.
absolutely, um, because the mind, right, the mind body connection, and they've talked
Yeah.
about that. So let's break this down to people who maybe aren't as familiar with that. How does someone approach this if they're brand new to this and they're like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I feel things. I have high anxiety because, this is December, right?
Yeah,
And statistically, that is a harder time for people.
absolutely.
Is that something you find in your practice as well?
Absolutely. I am so busy in December, right? So I always go the feast or famine, and I found that there are cycles, right, where I get really, really busy and then I get really, really slow, and that's okay because, I know that just like the seasons and everything, it just flows and ebbs and flows, right? And and so, what I do in my practice is I ask the person, how long have we been feeling this? Where are you feeling it at? Is it, does it come up when you go out? And when you go out, is it, does it take you a minute to come back, right? So I teach people how to put up a protection. So we're not gathering up, and it's all metaphysical because I believe our imagination is how we create, right? And so our thoughts and our imagination is what we create. So if I can imagine a bubble going around me, then, and some people call it the placebo, but whatever works, right? It
Yeah,
works.
it
Yeah.
does.
And so we start there. And then I also look at, and I ask the body, right? So this is where we get a little tricky, and it's like gets a little a little I don't know the word, but it gets a little sticky, right? Because
Yes.
I like to ask the body, because I like to say, well, let me guess, Kim. Let's see what's going on. But if I ask the body, what are you ready to release? The body's going to tell me, because our body is intelligent. Our body is connected to spirit. Our body is connected to all that. So I ask the body. We do surrogate muscle testing, so I connect with your energy, and we do the surrogate muscle testing, or because our body is so intelligent, we use a pendulum, and it's not the foo-foo, waveform out
Yeah.
there, but our body will slightly twitch if it wants to say yes, or slightly twitch if it wants to say no. Now, our body is intelligent in that aspect, saying like, "Hey, I'm ready to release this." No, I'm not ready to release this. I've had people come in because I work with trauma, and they're like, "I just want to let this go. I just don't want to be with this feeling anymore." And their body's like, "No, I don't want to release this right now because there's so many other layers that we have to go through."
So without getting too deep, why would
Okay.
if our mind is saying I want to release this, but the body, because
Mm-hmm.
I told my children even growing up, right? Your body is your sense, right? We
Yes.
know. So for example, because we don't, some people say, oh, this is too woo woo, like you said. Um,
Yeah.
when we go into a situation, a room, a part of the city, and that hair stands on the back of your neck,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't feel comfortable, or if you go into a party or a situation and your stomach starts to hurt, or at a
Yeah.
work situation, that is our body mechanism to protect us, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe so. And when I want to add another tier onto that, like think about, even if you don't have that gut feeling, think about people's posture. When they go out, they curled over? Are you kind of hugging yourself, or your arms folded? I mean, it's that protection mechanism. I know people say arms folded is closed off, but I feel like you're hugging yourself, and you're trying to, because this is our heart center and all that. We're trying to really not let anything in. So our body may not say that I want to release this deep rooted trauma, because you have other things on the surface that's affecting you right now, you know?
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it just depends on where you're at, and what your body wants to release, because that might be, like an onion, that might be the core, right? But we have to take away all these other pieces first. But again, I leave it up to the body, because I would like to say I know this, but your body is more intelligent than me, and my body is
Yeah.
more intelligent than me, so it knows where it, and we might have had this stored for so long that our body, okay, so let me kind of take a step back. So when we do releasing, we replace it with something that's positive, because what happens is I don't want to release, and then you're just open, and you're just, flapping around, because you've had that for so long. Now it's
Right.
going to feel different. And people, when we're done, people feel so weird, because they're like, well, I feel good, but so maybe they minimize their story, right? They're like, maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought, or maybe it wasn't, So I feel like it's just that moving through. So what I do is, not only do we ask the body, about that,
Mhm.
but we ask, like, are you ready to receive the energy, right? Do we need to do some balancing on the body, right? And again, because I'm a therapist, we don't do any touching, right? And
Yeah.
so we go with and I do biofield clearing, and we do that with either our hands, but I like to use the tuning forks, because I like to tune people. We get you in
Yeah.
that balance, and to vibrate with the same vibration of earth, so we can connect with that, so we can ground ourselves. I also use the tapping, which are in the meridians. the
Hmm.
same points that they use in acupuncture, but we don't use any needles because again, I'm a therapist. I don't touch, right? And so I
Yes.
just teach you where to tap. And again, it's your body saying, this is the place where you need to tap, and even though I might know like, hey, this is shame, you know, it's okay if it's used for something else, like it's our body saying like this is maybe that's what your body is. And we also do the chakras, and again, I
Hmm.
don't touch, but I show you how to wind, unwind, pull out the stuff. And so I like to not say let me back up. I like to give people tools so they
That
can use it, right? Because I don't want to say, I don't want you to be dependent on me your whole life. That's not cool. I want you to grow and learn and go out in the world. And honestly, I would love to keep all my people all the time and know what's going on with them. But in reality, I'm one person, and
yeah.
I like to get people out there because I'm a believer that we all have a certain light that we shine. And especially having a superpower, being empathic, being that person, if I can give you the tools and help you break out from, that closedness, then that means your light's going to shine. And if we have so many people with their light shining, it's going to be flow so much better,
No,
right?
no, I totally agree with you. The tools aspect is a big
Mm-hmm.
one. You know
Yeah.
me, I'm a big tools person as well.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's tools are going to be a little different. We're all
Yeah,
different. So we
absolutely.
can't say this is going to work for you, this is going to work for you. And I think that's where, the thought came, because I always try to think about the people who are listening. Um, you and I are both understanding this, but I want to bring this back. Someone who's never had a therapy or they've had a
Yeah.
therapist and it's not been a good experience. I've had that, I've had
Yeah.
that experience. Um, how do you help people who are listening to this manage that? Or like, oh my
Mm.
gosh, I love Linda. I'm not where Linda lives. How do I go about having tools and getting
Oh,
those things?
yeah.
What can they do?
I think there's a couple things you can do. First off, if you've had a bad experience with a therapist, and I know that hurts. Like, I know I've been on the other side of the couch and I know it's hard. You're just like, man, I'm doing therapy on my therapist. Like, not cool, right? You're like, okay. But it's okay, take a step back and really look. You can go on the ACEP, ACEP website and Association for Comprehensive Energy Psychology. And they have a list of therapists in your area that practice energy psychology modality. So that's a start. You can look up a
I'll put that
therapist's
I'll
bio.
put that in the links
Okay,
below. Yeah.
perfect. And you can also look up a therapist and see like how what you can interview your therapist. Like, how do you practice? What do you believe in? Energy. Do you believe in spirituality? Like what is it that you believe in there? I think another thing you can do for tools is, again, you go on that website, the ASAP website, and they also have resilience for resistance. I don't quote me on that, but they
Okay.
have a little video that you can watch that teaches you where to tap on certain places. But I think there are more people out there that want to do this, that want to, and especially professionally. I have so many that say, I would love to do energy psychology. I would love to do this. I do what is it, EMDR, and I love that aspect. And I'm like, great, let's do it. And then I'm afraid. I'm afraid of the board. I'm afraid of what happens. I'm afraid, and it's like I think as professionals we need to not let fear stop us from growing, because if I don't do what the client needs, then what that means is that I'm stopping their growth. I'm not giving them all the tools that I have, right?
Right. Right. So I appreciate you said like there's tapping, there's
Mm-hmm.
different things in checking in with the body. Let's say there's someone that just says that's just too woo woo for me, right?
Yeah.
So how do they baby step into this?
Okay. Well, I would say start off with some meditation. And for me, people are like, so for me, meditation, I have a different perspective of meditation than most people. And if people don't see, I'm a little different than most people, you
Okay.
know. So I think meditation is whatever you whatever relaxes you, whatever gets you in that zone. There was a study done for the Tibetan monks, or with the Tibetan monks, and in the study, they did the scans, the brain scans, and they found when they were in the deepest meditation, that's when their brain was most active. And so what happens is people feel like I need to quiet myself. I need to quiet myself. I need to I stop thinking. So then you start fighting with your brain, and your brain doesn't settle down. So what I tell people is when you are uh, trying to do your meditation, if a thought comes up, recognize it. Don't fight your brain. Your brain's going to win all the time. Recognize it. Okay. Oh, I need to do the laundry. Did I lock the door? Or, okay. And then bring yourself back to your body like we talked earlier. Okay. What are my feet doing? What are my legs doing? Let me take a breath. Let me feel that. Okay. Let me be here. And if you have a busy mind, I say do a guided meditation.
There's lots of apps and a lot of things I've seen
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
that do that. Okay.
So do a guided meditation, and that will help you to focus on whatever you need. And some people are like, well, Linda, I cannot sit still. I cannot do that. Okay, well, washing walls can be a meditation because it's just that constant movement, that rhythm, and it helps to bring you in. Some people's meditation is movement. We have yoga, we have qigong, there's all kinds of different things, running. You just have to find what works for you.
Sometimes
And
for
that,
me, it's walking in nature.
yeah, and being present.
Yeah, seeing the rock or the bird
Mm-hmm.
or the color in the sky or the clouds. I remember as a
Mm-hmm.
child, I would lay on my back with my brother, and we would just watch the clouds, and we would see pictures in them. And
Absolutely.
because I had a hard time with meditation, right? That busy the mind stuff
Mm-hmm.
that goes on, and I was so hard on myself. And sometimes my meditation is driving long distance by myself.
Absolutely.
I have sometimes the most amazing aha moments when I'm driving.
Mm-hmm. Because you're in it, right? You're doing something repetitive. It's something. So I think that's what it is finding what works for you. And I hate to conform, and I don't like to use the word hate, but I hate to conform to everybody's rules. Like, where did all these rules come from? Who made these rules up? Who says
Yeah,
we have, and life is about trial and error. you know if this doesn't work, well, let's try something else. If this doesn't work, let's do this. And I think it's about you listening to your body, you being in tune with your body, and and I'm a big believer in nature, being in tune with nature, tapping into that.
yeah. You said something at the beginning of this, and it just popped back in my mind. You said this is a practice. Your
Mm-hmm.
practice, right? That's your
Yeah.
practice, but your practice is your what you do with your therapy. But I think practice. It took me back as a little girl when I was a pianist,
Mm-hmm.
and I would practice and I would practice. I think so often now in life that people are just wanting it done. They want it to be
Mm-hmm.
perfect. They want it to be the way they want it right then and there. And when it
Yeah.
doesn't happen, they give up.
Yeah. And like you
And
said,
yeah, go
life
ahead.
is messy. Life is messy. We are not, I mean, and I'm just kind of, I don't want to be just too descriptive, but birthing something, having, I'm a mom, you're a mom. We know birthing a child is not clean, right? It's a messy process. But after it's completed, you have something that you created, right?
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And a part of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's an entity unto itself, it's still something, like you said, that you created. And I
Yeah.
think that can be with anything that people do. I
Mm-hmm.
think we don't give ourselves enough love and grace
Absolutely.
where we can practice something that we want to get good at. If you want to get good at something, right? It talks about, you've even with people with addictions,
Mm-hmm.
right? You work with on your thing, you said you work with, the counselor for that as well. And there's many kinds of addictions.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
what people have not probably integrated as much, where they think, well, I don't have a problem with this, I don't have a problem with this, I don't have a problem with this. But there's other
Yeah.
addictions.
Yeah. But we're so checked out, right? I don't have a problem. But when you are just out in society, you see people on their tablets, on their phones. And I'm guilty of it. I think we're all guilty of it at
Oh,
some
absolutely.
level. We get addicted to working, we get addicted to whatever that is. My concern is that we are not being present, right? It's not being, and that kind of takes me into, my other practice, what I do, outside of my work is, I know it says Ia on my title.
I was just gonna say that.
But so it's a short end for Ia Nifa, which is, mother of wisdom in the Yoruba language. And it's Ifa, it's an ancient African religion, which is we tap into the various elements in the world. I'm just summing it up and I'm not doing it justice, but for time constraints. But we have things called orishas, which are represented through the different elements like the wind, the ocean, the rivers. And I work with uh, the foundation, IFA Foundation, where in because it is an ancient religion, there were sacrifices, but we don't do that anymore,
Mhm.
right? We've tapped into vibrating at a different vibration. And the tools and the things that we use, I know you talked about tools, they're just as powerful because it's not about and I'm probably going to get some backlash from some people, but it's not about giving the blood to that particular deity, but it's about tapping into that energy. Because again, I'm all about energy, right? I'm all about tapping into the different matrices so we can elevate ourselves to a higher vibration. And going on with the tools, that's the energy that we've been talking about. That's what I use to make the oils, because I make my own oils, I make my own sprays, I make my own salts. I make it as such where you could do it as a salt rub or you could use it in the bath, whatever you have available. But the tools that I provide and I create, they are such to balance out it's not going to be life changing. Like, I want money, like you see, some of that stuff from
Mhm.
IFA. If you look it up, they're like, if you want money, do this and do that and use this. No, but what it's going to do is help you cleanse away things that are stopping you from being successful to tap into your own success,
Yeah. No,
right?
so let's talk a little bit about that. It's one of the things that was in your promo reel that,
Mm-hmm.
I think, that- no, I know that when I have guests on here, we, the beautiful thing that I love is it's not complex, but we are multifaceted people.
Yes.
we have, I have people that I meet at different networking, and I sometimes see the same people over again, and something else will come up and the comment comes up, Kim, time I talk to you, you've done something else different in your life. But that's because those are our life experiences and we take them for granted, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like, for example, I have bracelets that I have been making as my love language for probably close to 10 years. And so now people keep saying, I want that. So that's kind of started growing, right?
Yeah.
Your love of this energy and using different tools of salts or oils or different things. So tell us a little bit about what has evolved for you in this aspect.
Oh gosh, where do I
Because
start?
because now I can go buy those now.
Yes, yes. And so it all started when back many years ago, I'm certified Reiki as well, Reiki 2, level 2. And I didn't go any further because I'm like, I just don't want to be the teacher, right? I busy myself so much that I just didn't have the time to do that, right?
Yeah.
So but I do love to teach people, so I just want to reiterate that. But it started with me just creating different oils, right? And again, I'm tapped in with source, I'm tapped in with spirit. So a lot of the oils that I learned to make was just by instincts, right? By just different instincts. And then as I evolved with that, I've noticed that different smells, I feel the herbs differently. And so different herbs, different smells, they create a certain feeling, they create a certain vibration. And so then that's when I started to make sprays and sell them at work, right? Just on the side. It was just like, a little, give me a donation, but, for my supplies that I do, because it's like an experiment, right? Everybody was my guinea pig. And so,
Yeah.
and then I found that they really were working for people's anxiety, working for people's depression, working to clear out different spaces and stuff for people. And so it evolved into, I continuously make the oils. And as, like with any craft, the more I do it, the more in tap I get. And so now with that oil base, it's really grown for me to make the oils, the salts, for the baths to soak and release anything that's not serving us. Or, I have certain salts to help vibrate you at a higher vibration, to tap into the different energies. I also create candles with that oil base.
Oh,
With certain intentions. I know they're not right now on my Etsy website because I've created other things that I had to do for, my other practice right now. And so, but on that website, it's, I
okay. I'm going to pull them up really quick because I do
okay,
want
okay,
people to know how to get them.
okay.
Um,
And I know they're more expensive than other things that you might see online, but it's not like I just throw the oils in and the salt in and everything. It is done with prayers and chants, and different energies are put into that so that it can create that deep level change inside you, right? 'Cause I'm all
yeah.
about the smells. And I think smells, again, going back to the
I
senses.
ask my kids. I am all about
hmm
scents and smells. We have our really good
hmm
friends we've had for 15 plus years. And he comes into my house and he's like, oh, smells like a Bassett house. And the other day I was like, what are you talking
You're like,
about?
what is that?
Because he goes, it always smells great in here.
Well, and it's just that energetic signature, right? And I think that's what it is, and for some people, and this is just me, and I thought it was just me because I created it, but I smell it and it's just intoxicating. I just want to keep smelling it and smelling it and smelling it. So, it's just, and I think it's because that vibrational sense there. So I like to tap into the, at work, I do the sound healing, right? We do the sound bowls, we do the tuning forks. So we do that sound healing to change that vibration. I like to do the smells. I like
Yeah.
to do the feeling, like, what are we feeling? The only thing I don't have is the eyes, like I don't do color stuff, right? But, maybe
Yeah.
that will happen down the road. But, I like to, or maybe somebody else, I can collaborate with somebody else to do the
Yeah.
site,
Yeah. No, it's funny because I have the sound bowls as well.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband is now, when we have people come over, look at these. I mean,
Oh,
even he is like, he likes the feeling of them. It does.
mm-hmm.
It shifts. It can shift you. And we used to have a little bowl. I didn't even know about sound bowls years ago,
Mm-hmm.
but we had someone that came from Dubai and they brought a metal sound bowl and it
Wow.
would just sit as a decoration. And it was several years ago that I started picking it up and I started using it. And it was about the same time that I got started my Reiki practice.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, they everybody I believe needs it because they can
Absolutely.
feel it.
And I'm about, going on YouTube, listening to the sound bowls and stuff. But if you can get it live, you feel, like a concert. Hey, it's pretty cool to go to a concert and listen to it. But when you go to inside, right? If you're not just watching it on TV, you're there, you feel it. And I think it's not only because of the sound vibration, but think about all those people that are there having a good time. You're tapping into that. And I think that's what's I don't go to a church per se, but I think that's what's good about, churches are big gatherings where people are all happy and feeling good. They bring that vibration.
Vibration. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something about it.
No, I totally believe that. I love that people are getting to see from you that you can have the psychology, the knowledge that we can
Hmm.
have through all the years, right? Psychology just didn't drop out of the sky. It
No.
it
Mm-mm.
is something that started, centuries ago that
Yeah.
that people learn from experience and it keeps evolving and
Yeah.
to bring in the other pieces that make us a whole person is really what I was hoping, which I feel we've done here today,
Hmm. Yeah.
is being
A-
able to bring that.
And I wanted to add to what you were saying, think about the shamans, think about the wise women, think about all those, they came with a certain wisdom, and it wasn't about you're different, so go over there, stay there, don't come. A lot of times the difference was celebrated,
Yeah.
and it was cultivated, and it was like, oh my gosh, you see energies on people, that's great. I keep myself kind of back because as soon as I say, yes, I see energies on people, I see that vibration. Well, what does my energy look like? What do I look like? And it's like, okay, great. But, all day long, I don't want to, well, your energy's this way, because it is I live my life too, and
And
I love that people are excited.
but yeah, but I love that there's more of a curiosity, I think, than ever
Hmm.
before in our world,
Absolutely, absolutely. And
right?
it's the old ways of thinking. I love working with ancestors. I love working, in my practice with that, like healing. I think, if we give love and light to our ancestors, that helps to make changes in us and cultivate who we are, And I think we are part of this, we're earthlings, right? We're from
Yes,
Earth. So we are connected to Earth, Mother Earth. And, in Yoruba, we call her Onele, but, I feel like it's same across the whole board. She's giving us love and kindness and groundingness. And, let's just connect with her. Let's just be
Yeah.
part of that.
And so let me ask you this. So I know we've had this discussion in my extended family.
Mm.
I feel very connected to the ocean,
Yeah.
but I also lately have also loved being in um, a lot of. I grew up in the Northwest, so a lot of greenery and trees and
Hmm.
the smell of that. There's definitely a different smell than an ocean than it being
Yeah.
in with trees. Um, so what are your thoughts on that? I mean, people,
Oh,
you know,
so my thoughts, and I'm kind of shifting gears from the psychology aspect of things to, my priestess, my Ianifa side is, so we believe that you're born with a various deity that works with you, that you can work with, right? And so that's why some people are so attracted to the ocean. Some people are so attracted to, different things. So the one that walks with me is part of transportation, like the trains. His name's Ogun, but the trains, the metal, the iron, and we push through all the time, right? The one for the ocean, her name is Yamaya or Jamaja. There's a lot of different names, but she is a mother, the kind, that. And so I believe that we come down with different personalities so we can meet our destiny. And I think that you're attracted, and we'll just back up a little bit. Like, even though that is my deity, doesn't mean that I don't have all those other energies inside of me, right? And so maybe you are attracted to and I don't know because I would have to do a reading on you, but maybe you're attracted to the ocean because you have Yamaya walking with you, and then, the forest because, there's that healing aspect of things. We're the female, we're the mothers, and so there is that healing aspect. And so I think that you are attracted to whatever it is because it's helping you elevate in your destiny that I believe that you chose your destiny, and we're all here for a mission. We're all here to develop something or
oh,
contribute somehow. Yeah.
I totally believe that, and if having this show for as long as I have, that has been one of the biggest, greatest gifts I feel like I have
Hmm.
been given is meeting, you and others to be able to. That's why Coffee with Kim has kind of evolved into no longer the best kept secret because I've met people from all over the world that I've had on this show, and there are so many people with gifts.
Hmm.
And I that to me has been the biggest gift for me is being able to meet and have you all come into my life and to learn
Mm,
from.
beautiful. Well,
So
I know I appreciate it,
yeah,
and I love how we are all different but all the same.
I love that. You
Hmm.
know, the very last thing that you said that I put in your Pomero reel was the self-actualization.
Yes.
And I can tell you because of I have another career too that I work at, and I see probably 120 people a day. Um, and they are all at different levels, all, but yet all the same. I think people want to be heard, they want to be seen,
Hmm.
they want to feel like, what I say, be seen, be heard, be understood, and be able to know they're making a difference.
Just be valued.
Valued. That's the one.
Hmm.
That's the one. And be valued. And but we walk. I see a lot of people just walking, just trying to survive, and that
Yeah.
self-actualization, I think, is a big piece to that.
And and I love that you went into that because I feel like we're on that brink of all this stuff is not going to matter. It's not it. at the end of the day, what really matters, and I see like I see all kinds of people at all kinds of levels. I see people very, very wealthy, people that have not very much. And, I feel like the one core thing is we just all want to be loved.
Yes.
That's it. It's just about love. And so you can imagine if we were just to walk out and just in the world and instead of like, hiding and, I just got to get in and get out, right? And we were just, straighten our shoulders back and smile at people. Like, I feel like that would make a big, big difference. Just show
I
up.
just show up. And I love that you
Hmm.
said that. I had a woman, um, I'm a flight attendant, and I had a woman recently just, I was, taking care of all of them. And she grabbed my hand and she said, "Your smile made all the difference today."
Oh,
And
yeah.
we take the littlest things for granted.
Hmm.
I had another person the other day say, "Your kindness, I, I just so much appreciate."
Yeah.
And to me, I'm just like, it broke my heart to think that people aren't getting smiles. They're not getting
Yeah.
kindness. And I see that. I see
Hmm.
that. And so even if it's just me or you or the people that are watching this, have a little bit of just that awareness, that self-actualization, that awareness that you do make a difference. Your smile makes a
Hmm.
difference. What
Absolutely.
a different world this would be.
And we are people, and people might argue, and that's okay. I would be open to that. And maybe not argue back, but I believe we are uh creatures that need people. We are communal creatures. We love,
Yes.
and I know some people are like, I just need my self time. Well, yes, you need your self time. Please, get, have your self time to recharge. But I think we need other people. We need to talk. We need to be
We need
part of.
community.
Mhm.
Community.
Our ancestors had it right. I don't know what happened, but our ancestors had it correct, that we would be all, multi-generationals. And I'm not saying that we all, I know there's very many levels to this, but, the multi-generationals where the older wise grandmothers, grandfathers would help with the young babies, the
Yeah.
children, and the ones in the middle they were working and doing things to make sure that the young and the older, were taken care of. And I think
Yeah.
we've kind of lost that.
Yeah. I see it in little bits and pieces.
Hmm.
And I just hope that, shows like this, interviews like this,
Yeah.
that maybe can inspire and
Hmm.
help us even just a little bit get to that next level. So,
Yeah.
was there anything else you wanted to cover that maybe we didn't cover today? We
I
covered a
I know
lot.
we covered so much, and I would say, like, let me add another tier, but I just don't know. I feel like I'm complete right now. I know that on the side, just to kind of put this out there in the universe, me and my mentor are creating a program that are going to help women who were abused, sexually abused, we're going to integrate the psychology aspect and the spiritual aspect and just shedding and letting things go at a retreat. So
So we'll
that's on
have
the
you
back
on.
burner.
Good.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad. So that's a little teaser to come,
Hmm.
because when that becomes, solidified, we'll have you back on, and you
Yes.
and you can
Yeah.
talk about all of that.
Yeah.
But Linda, I just want to tell you so much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for coming
Mm,
on, sharing your wisdom, your beautiful
mm.
wisdom and knowledge and experience. And I know the right people at the right time will hear this, and it will make a difference. So,
And I'm also open if people want to reach out and say,
oh
like,
yes,
where am I at? Like I have this or that, I need some tools or something, like I would be happy to answer any questions for people, or, I love the spiritual aspect. If I could, just sit there as a wise old woman and just
Yeah,
give knowledge all day, I would.
right.
But I
You
know I'm
do. You
okay.
do.
I do.
But you're
That is
not
true.
old.
See, that's true. That's true. See, I have to be careful with my words.
Oh, I
But
know,
yes, if
right?
they have any questions, or like I'm trying to evolve into this, or, tell me more about your spiritual practices or anything, I'm really willing to answer
Yeah.
those questions the best that I can. I'm not
Thank
saying
you.
I'm knowledgeable about everything. And just a side note, I am licensed in Florida as well. So I'm licensed in
Okay.
Nevada and in Florida. So,
Oh,
I
fantastic.
often forget because
Yeah.
that's where the retreat is going to be. And so I got licensed there so we could do the psychology in
Oh,
Florida.
fantastic.
Hmm.
Okay. Awesome. Again, thank you so much. And we will see you again. This
Okay.
is not
Yes,
the end.
absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for having me. And I thank everybody that came and, stuck it
Yeah.
through and, was,
I know this was a long one, guys. This is longer than
yeah.
normal, but I think it was
Yeah.
necessary. So, all right, everyone. Thank you again. I again want to thank my guest, Linda. This was, I know I learned so much from it, and I hope this impacted you in some way, or at least started you on the journey. Have a great day.